Hello and welcome. This video is going to be a what sold video, and that is going to be everything that I have sold on not live platforms for the week of January 15th to January 21st. And we're going to start with my lowest performing platform first and work our way to eBay, because eBay is my main bay, which means I'm going to scoot over here. And we're going to talk about Poshmark, because I actually made a bunch of sales on Poshmark because I, yet again, remembered that the make offers to liker feature exists. So I did the bulk offers to likers and people took me up on my very generous offers, because most everything on Poshmark is old inventory, so you know, I'm just trying to move it. So the first piece I'm going to share with you, I sold for $10. I picked this up in an estate sale. It is a beautiful cherry blossom tri-section dish, and it took forever. So I sent off offers, someone accepted this one, and I'm super glad that it has gone off to a new home. It's so beautiful. I have no idea why no one picked this up beforehand, because it's very cute. So for this Chicago mug, a subscriber, Josie, took me up on my offer. Josie, thank you very much. I do hope you are currently drinking a cup of something out of this Chicago mug. It was a beautiful fine bone china mug. I do like picking up mugs. I really like picking up these vintage, like touristy mugs, especially when they're fine china, and this was fine bone china. So Josie, thank you for taking me up on my offer. I only paid $1 for this probably 2 or 3 years ago. So Josie, again, thank you for giving this beautiful vintage mug a new home where someone can actually use it and enjoy it instead of it just sitting in my cupboard for forever. This is a bundle sale, which I was very surprised by. They purchased this bundle, which is a vintage Holland mold. You would find a ton of Holland molds. Like the Holland mold cats are everywhere at the thrift stores, but it was a big fad in the 70s to paint your own pottery, just like it is now, where people go to a paint night and then paint their own pottery. It was a really cute thing. And this was a vintage 70s planters from this is Atlantic Mold, I'm sorry. It's Atlantic Mold, Holland Mold. There were a couple of mold companies that did this. This was a substantial planter. And I figured if after 3 years it didn't sell, I would just keep it, and it did sell, so that's awesome. It sold for $30, and then the vintage anchor hawking piece sold for $15. These candle holders I picked up at an estate sale for $4, and the Atlantic mold piece I picked up at an estate sale, I think, for $5. But this did require me getting an upgraded, shipping label. I'm having a hard time with my words today. Upgraded shipping label, which actually used up a $5 credit I had on Poshmark because of the fact that I had done a campaign for them. I don't know, they haven't done campaigns in a long time, but I've had this $5 credit for doing a listing campaign for them a long time ago, and so I only had to pay an additional $8 for my shipping label. So again, 2 pieces of inventory that moved that have been older, and I'm happy that both of them went to a new home. Another thing, the older piece, I actually only paid $1 for both of these. I actually had 2 sets of these. So even though they sold for only $7, I made $1 profit. I spent $1 on them. We're okay. And again, a vintage piece went off to a new home. These took forever to sell, and I modeled them. I thought that modeling them would make them sell faster. They did not. These are silver jeans. I originally picked these up because Matt had success, and I watched Matt's videos. He had success selling silver jeans, so I have a lot of faith in what Matt picks up. But mileage varies for everyone. So just because I can sell something does not mean you can sell something, and just like my friends can sell stuff, sometimes they just don't move for me. And this is one of those instances. It sold for $17. Again, I sent offers. You can see it has 6 likes on it, which is the most likes I think I have on anything in my closet, because for some odd reason nobody likes my stuff on Poshmark, which is part of the reason why it is a secondary platform. But happy that these moved on to a new home, and I still have one more pair of these silver jeans, and I probably won't pick those up again just because I'm not having success with them. But you know what, if I find them at the bins for like $1.50, I'll probably still pick them up. All right, now we're gonna go over to eBay. So I'm gonna scoot over here. And I mentioned in my video about how to sell books without Amazon, which I will link up above, that selling lots of books can be helpful. And also, if you pick up vintage books that are in the same colorway and sell them as a lot, that's also a good way to sell books, because there are plenty of people that are interior designers, that are set producers, that just want an aesthetic. So I sold these 4 Charles Dickens books as a lot, and that is a green lot, and they sold for $14.30. I picked these up at the bin, so I only have $2 into them. Now this piece I had so many watchers on, and someone finally took my offer when I sent a 15% offer to my watchers. And this is a Lauren Ralph Lauren black button front dress. Anything that fits in dark academia, regardless of the brand, I will normally pick it up. And you know what? This piece fit that perfectly, and I think that's why it had so many watchers, is because it did fit that aesthetic. Beautiful long sleeve black button front dress with collar. You just put like a little black corset around it. Perfect black dark academia piece right there. This is my last Sag Harbor blazer. I picked 2 of these up at the New to You, and I paid $5 a piece for them. You can see I modeled them with flowers behind me because it just is a really cute spring type blazer, and I'm glad that this vintage piece found a new home for $15. Another piece I picked up at the bins, this is a Sims 2 video game. It's very rare for me to find video games in my area at all, which is why you guys don't normally see me selling them in my What Solds. It's just because I can't get them. There's a lot of resellers in my areas that are super into video games, so if you're not first, you're last. I am very last when it comes to video games. I actually found this in a book bin at the bins. So I paid $1 for this because the media is actually not supposed to go into the bins. They have a separate media store, so if some of it goes in to the bins, like by accident, the price is different. So that's why. So I paid $1 for this. It's still sold for $3.87, and I just grabbed it because the CDs were in good shape, the case was in good shape, and it was a video game, and I figured I could sell it for more than $1, which I did. Not much more, but more. This is a cute Francesca Bettini peplum top. I've mentioned before how much I love selling linen, and this checked off a lot of boxes. Cute color, cute style, peplum, and linen. So I picked this up, and it sold for $19.87, my full asking price, and I think I paid like $4 for this at a thrift store, so do not have much into it. This is something I picked up for Thriftmas. This is Stio. Stio is a great bolo brand to be on the lookout, and this is my first time finding it. And this did have a pin mark on the leg, so even flawed, this still sold, and it sold for $21. Again, that Diversity thrift store, I have made so much money out of that thrift store that I really do need to go again. And speaking of the Diversity thrift, also picked this up for Thriftmas at the Diversity thrift store. This is the J. Peterman shirt, and it sold for $24. I paid $4 for this at Diversity thrift, and I paid $5.75 for the Stio pants, because they had the pants. It was like if you buy more pants, you save more money, but I didn't buy enough pants to save money, so I got the full price. But I did buy a bunch of shirts, and again, I think I need to go back to Diversity Thrift. That was an amazing thrift trip. So the next 2 items I have to share with you sold to the same person, and they are sales from Fix It Friday. They are my first sales from Fix It Friday. Is this Columbia PFG polo shirt and also this navy hat. Both these sold to a repeat buyer, not a viewer, to my knowledge. And I did refund them $1 for shipping because I have flat rate shipping, and because there were 2 items, I still did have to send it out priority. But I received positive feedback, and hopefully they will continue to buy from me. So this was great. So I moved 2 items for my Fix It Fridays that were older items. I think I've had both of these for over a year. Another Diversity thrift pickup and sale. This is Built with a Y, and again, they're not going to sell for a whole lot, but these do sell very quickly. I picked this up for $2.75 at Diversity Thrift for Thriftmas, and it sold for $15. Again, I'm about that all day. I would love to find more Built stuff in my area, but again, probably another Diversity Thrift trip coming soon. So the next 2 items are from my Money Pile Monday video, and I have Stephanie to thank for these books going from my death pile to dollars. So Stephanie, thank you very much for buying these 2 books for me. I hope you are enjoying them. I do wonder if you're actually reading the Outdoor Girls book or not, but I think they're really cool vintage. Actually, I think they're antique pieces. Both of these are antique pieces. So Stephanie, thank you very much. Both of these were free to me. So again, Stephanie, knowing that, still bought them from me. So Stephanie, thank you for supporting my business. And sold her for $19.74. And of course, I refunded her the shipping difference like I do. And I've mentioned before how much I like selling vintage aprons if I can get them for really cheap. Again, this item had some stains on it, and these vintage aprons will still sell with stains on them. Depends on the stain and it depends on the apron, but this was a super cute scalloped edged half apron from the 50s. You can see I modeled it, and it sold for $9.87, and I paid $1 for this on an estate sale. This is Beach Boys graphic tee. Is something I had in a thredUP box, the thredUP t-shirt box. I make really good money off those thredUP t-shirt boxes. I do list everything, so if you don't want to list something that's not going to get you $10 or more, maybe don't get a thredUP t-shirt box, but I list everything. So I'm good with that. If that's not your bag, I get it. But this sold for $6.87. My buy cost per shirt for that box was $1. So I'm perfectly happy to for someone to hand me $5 at a time every time. This is a BKE pair of jeans, the Stella. This is a slim boot cut. Boot cut is in, and low rise is selling again, much to every millennial's chagrin. But sold for $17.50, and I think I paid like $6 for these at a thrift store. This Plan de Paris, again, is another piece from my Money Pile Monday. Again, something I picked out of the hoarder house, and I'm glad that somebody who I know is going to give it a good home because they are a French teacher. Jennifer, thank you very much. She's a viewer of the channel. Thank you for purchasing this from me. It sold to her for $7.87, and I'm guessing she's either going to keep it as like part of her collection because she loves France, or it might be a tool that she uses in her class. So I think it's really cool of you to purchase this, and I'm glad that I do know this has been given a good home. Another book sale, this is My Girl from 1991. This is the movie tie-in. It sold when I sent offers to watchers, and they paid $3.90 for this. I paid 25 cents for this at the bins, and I picked this up for sentimentality reasons, but it also made me money, which is great. I love buying and selling vintage books because normally the listings are super fast, and you know, I don't want books to go in the trash because that makes me sad. This is my last Chico's Travelers piece that I picked up for Thriftmas at Helping the Homeless, and it sold for $18, and of course the buyer paid for shipping. I now know the power of Chico's Travelers, but this has been the only time I have found Chico's Travelers out in the wild, and they sold very quickly, so you best believe if I find them again, I will be picking them up. This is another viewer sale, and these are journals that I saved from the bins. So Julie, I hope you're writing all of your wonderful thoughts and feelings in these two books, or you're using them as a planner, or however you want to use them. I use journals for everything, including just like writing down thoughts that, or lists of things I need to do and remember. But these are two very beautiful, both of them were gilded journals that I picked up at the bins. They're 50 cents each. So Julie, thank you very much for both supporting my channel and supporting my business. I appreciate that. This Washington football hoodie is something I picked up at the Air Force Retirees House, so I paid less than $1 for it. Again, this estate sale just keeps giving me money, which I am down for. I mean, my estate sales here are really good. Really good. So it's very easy to be a clothing reseller here. Just even, not only just with the bins, but in the thrift stores, but also estate sales are really good too. So I made $9 off of this, perfectly happy with that. And again, that I made so much money off of that estate sale, and I'm very grateful for it. This vintage 90s piece is something I think I picked up at the bins. I'm pretty sure I picked this up at the bins. If I didn't pick it up at the bins, I picked it up at a thrift store, I would have paid like $4 for it. So I've either paid $1 for it or I paid $4 for it. Either way, I sold it for $16.89. So that's still a good amount of money of profit to make either way. And another vintage piece saved from the trash. All right, this next sale I'm sharing with you for a couple of reasons. One, for me and my business, I only do international sales through a global shipping program through eBay, because I just don't want to deal with it. I would like the protection. I do know that it's probably cheaper if I shipped it on my own, but I don't want to deal with it at all. I want eBay to handle all the problems, because there are so many things that can go wrong shipping something internationally. If you feel comfortable and confident doing it and you want to deal with it, you do you. I say that all the time. I'm doing me. I do not want to deal with it because before the global shipping program rolled out, I've been on eBay since 1996. I was a little child selling little Beanie Babies with my mom's help. I remember when it was money orders and checks and you had to wait till something cleared, and no. This is a great example of why I do that and why I feel vindicated making that decision for my business. This is a set of 5 wooden bowls that I picked up a long time ago. I think this is one of the Money Pile Monday things as well. I finally got around to listing them. They're a beautiful set of vintage wooden bowls, teak bowls, and they sold on offer for $19.90 to someone internationally. You can see here that it was an international sale through the Global Shipping Program, and then above that you can see case is closed. So this person sent me a message saying that they needed the tracking information for this transaction because they didn't receive the bowls. And I said, the tracking information is already loaded in eBay. You should be able to check the purchase and it should have that information for you. However, this was shipped through the Global Shipping Program, so once it leaves my house and goes to eBay, I have no other information. So you need to contact eBay. They will be able to help you. I unfortunately can only refer you to them because this was shipped through the Global Shipping Program. And they just sent me a big old okay as the return message. And the next day they opened a case, a return case, saying that they did not receive the item. That return case, I immediately got another email from eBay stating that the case was automatically closed because this was shipped through the Global Shipping Program and that they were dealing with it. So I got my money and I didn't have to deal with anything other than to tell them to go to eBay. I didn't even really have to do that. I could have just ignored it and they could have still opened up a case and it still would have been closed because it's not my fault. It made it to eBay. eBay shipped it to them. After eBay gets it, I am absolved of all responsibility. So even if this package went missing, or if it was a case where they were making something up, or if it was a case where it was stolen off of their doorstep, I'm protected. I don't have to deal with it anymore, and that's why I personally use the Global Shipping Program. Again, you do you. I'm just sharing this because this is the exact reason why I do this. It's because I just don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with the headache. I deal with enough domestic headaches trying to deal with USPS. I don't need to deal with international issues as well. Another piece from Money Pile Monday that has been turned into dollars is this Alice in Wonderland piece from the 1930s. Even though this was in crunchy shape, it still sold for $20. If you do find this illustrated Alice in Wonderland from Garden City from the 30s, I do recommend picking it up just because of the fact that this book, if it is in much better condition, can sell upwards of like closer to $100. It just depends on the condition and of the book. So I love selling vintage and antique books. We know that, and again, this was free to me, so super happy about that. I have Brett to thank for this sale, not because he bought it, but because he gifted me these items. He sent me a big old thick stack of vintage postcards that he picked up. He knows I love buying and selling ephemera, so he sent them to me knowing that I would eventually find new homes for them. Someone decided to buy all 4 of these vintage inn and house restaurant from Jacksonville postcards. They were the Long Boy postcards. All of them were unposted, and you know, you don't really think anything special about this. It doesn't look like anything. But they were willing to pay me $19.48 for them, and then they paid $4 for shipping. Because of the fact that there were 4, I could not ship this eBay standard envelope because you can only use 3 postcards for eBay standard envelope. So I had to ship these first class mail, and the $4 covered it. So it worked out perfectly. So I'm really happy about this sale. Brett, thank you very much for free to me into $19.48. That's a win for sure. This is an Amer bag. Apparently this is a great bag to pick up if you find it out and around. It's just a 1-strap bag that goes off around. So now that I know that this brand exists and that it's a good brand, I will be on the lookout for it. This is something that was gifted to me for free from my Aunt Diane. So Aunt Diane, if you ever come across this video, I love you and thank you very much. And so this went from free to me to $36. So again, another piece from Money Pile Monday, due to the fact that like she gave me bags of stuff and it just took me a while to get to the point where I could process them. So all right, so another bundle sale. I don't know if this person is a viewer or not, so if you are, thank you. It might just be one of my repeat buyers, or it might just be that because they bought 2 books, they're considered a repeat buyer. I'm not sure. But the same person bought both of these vintage paperback books. I paid 50 cents in total for both of them, so 25 cents a piece. And they sold for $3.87 and $2.87. So did I make a whole lot of money off them? No. Is my return on investment over 500%? Yes. So that's how I look at my ROI. Is more important to me than necessarily the dollar amount. That's how I operate the business. As long as I get 100% ROI, I'm happy. So like if I pay $5 for something and I get $10 for it, that's 100% ROI. So that's what I'm looking for. Again, you do you for your business, but 2 vintage books saved from the bins and saved from being thrown away. Same with this piece. This is another thing that I picked up at the bins. I paid 50 cents for this. This is a 700 Clubs Christian Classics Christ School of Prayer, just like I mentioned again in my video about how to sell books without Amazon. Jesus sells. And this sold eventually. I did have this for 2 years before it sold, so maybe not 700 Club Jesus sells, but it still sold. And I'm not trying to be pejorative at all when I say that. It's just kind of my motto in my brain. So I'm not trying to be mean, but Jesus does sell. That's how come Joel Osteen has a like multi-million-dollar estate. I mean, he's got a lot of money. And then the last thing I have to share with y'all is this vintage Eddie Bauer pair of jeans. This, I have Leah to thank for buying this from me. Leah is a viewer of the channel and a great supporter of my business, my reselling business. So Leah, thank you so much for being so generous, one, with your time and watching these videos and leaving lovely comments, but also with your wallet and supporting me in my small business, and allowing me to continue to do this. Actually, I not only should thank Leah for that, but all of you guys, because the fact that you guys watch these videos helps me to continue doing this. And again, this last year has been the happiest year that I have had. I am just overall happier and more relaxed and healthier. So I can't think of a better job to have. And I'm very grateful every day I get to do this. I'm grateful for you guys. And I hope you guys are having great sales in your business. And I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, bye. Bye.
No, now you guys saw her one little teepees. Well. So cute. They're so cute.